The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Colorado, Indiana, Michigan, New Jersey, Tennessee, Virginia, and Arizona. From boosted parlays to in-game odds on every major sport, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign up today to receive a $1,000 risk-free sports bet. Download the WynnBET app now or visit wynnbet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is DFS simplified. All you have to do is pick your favorite player over and under to cash in. Head over to prizepicks.com and use promo code SGP for a 100% instant deposit match. We're also brought to you by PropSwap, America's marketplace to buy and sell sports bets. Check out the new PropSwap.com and use promo code SGP on your first deposit to receive up to $500 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by SoBet. Sign up to bet against your friends and join the social betting revolution at SoBet.io/SGPN. That's SoBet.io/SGPN. We're also brought to you by Better Fantasy. Better Fantasy is a new free-to-play app that lets you sync your fantasy football league and bet on the head-to-head matchups. Download the app today or just head to betterfantasy.com/SGPN. That's betterfantasy.com/SGPN. And of course, don't forget to download the SGPN app, your home for all of our free picks and podcasts. Welcome everyone to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Wednesday, December 8th, 10:37 a.m. on the East Coast. And joining me to break down this Wednesday night 13-game schedule in the NBA tonight, my esteemed co-host, Terrell Furman. Terrell, how are you feeling this evening, sir?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Our picks ain't feeling that thus far this week, but I'm up. I'm ready to turn it around and to cash some checks.
Yeah, as great as we were last week cashing dogs, we got out to a 0-4 start on our lock and dog combined on Monday. As much as we like to celebrate our winnings, I'm also gonna call us out when we lose. So we got to do better today. But we have plenty of opportunities. Like I said, 13-game schedule tonight in the NBA. We'll go as usual, game by game, break it all down for you guys. Injury report, trends, stats, and all that good stuff. Before we get into the games, Terrell, anything that kind of stood out over these last 2 days? Some injury things, I guess. We can start with CJ McCollum, the big one with the collapsed lung. Thankfully, it's nothing too serious for CJ McCollum. You know, you hate to hear when it's a collapsed lung, so I think he'll be out probably at least 2 to 4 weeks for the Portland Trailblazers. Now they're down both of their best players in Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum, but thankfully nothing too serious for CJ McCollum there. Anything else that's kind of stood out to you around the league?
Standing out wise, that's really big for Portland right now. So now
they're struggling.
They're without Dame, without CJ. I don't see things looking too good for Portland right now. Big thing. Did you hear the news coming out of Indiana? Indiana is looking to shop around Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner, and Karis LeVert. It sounds like they're going for a complete rebuild over there, which is interesting. I don't think I would think that Rick Carlisle is a coach that is synonymous with the rebuild, but very, very, very interesting call. And then, I'm looking forward to see how they play tonight and going forward. Knowing their names are out there, and I'm really even more curious of who is going to go out and pick those guys up. If a playoff team gets a hold of Domantas Sabonis, then there's going to be problems. Yeah. If somebody gets a hold of Karis LeVert, there's going to be problems. All three of these guys, Miles Turner as well, these are guys that will absolutely turn just a regular playoff team into a contender. They can have that impact on a basketball team if they have the pieces around them. So I'm really interested to see who's going to get Demonis, who's going to get Karras, who's going to get Miles, and who's going to pick those guys up if they can shop them around for a good price. But
Yeah.
that's interesting. But it sounds like complete rebuild for the Pacers right now.
Yeah, when I read that report on Monday when it came out, the two teams that first came to mind to me were the Portland Trailblazers, who can use a guy like either one of those big guys, Sabonis or Miles Turner, down on the post, and the other team was the Charlotte Hornets that also came to mind. Both those teams can use low post presence, and I think that I think it's time for Portland to move on from Yusuf Nurkic because I don't think he's a good basketball player. Sure, he might have a good defensive presence, but offensively, this guy has one of the worst hands in the league. And if you add a guy like Miles Turner or Sabonis in that low post, take a little bit of pressure off, especially Sabonis on the offensive side off of CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard, that's pretty formidable, man. You have Norman Powell, you have your two guards in Lillard and CJ McCollum. And then you add a guy like Sabonis. I think that'll improve the team. I mean, I'm not saying they'll make them a championship contender, but it definitely improves the team.
Miles Turner leads the league in blocks right now. Like that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. I think of the three, Miles Turner is more likely the one to be gone first. Like he's the one that people are going to covet first. Miles Turner is going to be that guy. I'm very intrigued to see, what the Pacers do if they're able to move these guys. You would think that they probably, I don't know, it's a rebuild. It's not, I wouldn't be surprised if they moved them somewhere east, but I would like to think that they probably would aim to send those guys out west somewhere.
Yeah.
And there's a few people that would definitely contribute to getting some inside presence like that. From the two, and then Karis LeVert is just a bucket. Like he's a bucket. He's a go-getter. I would love to see the Denver Nuggets go after a guy like Karis LeVert. I think that he's exactly what they're looking for. Somebody that can go create their own shot in the backcourt and get make the shot, like not just create, but another guard that can go out there and get his own shot. Somebody that would pair well with Jamal Murray up there. I think that they kind of found a little bit of a more defensive identity to themselves. So I think that they can lack a little bit in that backcourt, and the subsequent scoring that they're going to get from a Jamal Murray and a Karis LeVert is going to do them really well. Like it's going to do them so well. So I would love to see somebody like that, and then bring off a Monte Morris off the bench who can come and he could step in and be some extra offense for them. I like that. I think that Karis LeVert to the Nuggets would be a pretty solid move if that happens.
Yeah, I think Dallas is another team that can use either a Miles Turner or a Sabonis down low. Because, again, we've talked about KP Porzingis that likes to hang around the three-point line, who thinks he's more of a jump shooter versus a post guy. So I think having one of those two guys would also help Dallas for sure. But it'll be interesting to see how quickly these trades kind of come about for the Indiana Pacers. I think you also made a great point that Rick Carlisle kind of went there to make this team a playoff team again. But now with the reports coming out of the Indiana Pacers wanting to trade their top three guys, it'll definitely be interesting to see what kind of transpires from that. Anything else around the league, Terrell, that we may have missed or maybe we need to mention on the pod here? Obviously, DeMar DeRozan, we'll get to that with the game, but DeMar DeRozan health and safety protocols. I think we mentioned that on Monday. But
yeah, he's out for about 10 days.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely keep in mind those injury reports. I think that's all I've kind of seen. Anything else you kind of see around the league?
Let me see. Let me think. Jimmy Butler's in and out the lineup again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Miami's trying to struggle a little bit.
We'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to Miami. But Jimmy Butler's just been in and out of the lineup. So he came back, and it looks like he might be out again. Nothing else really big. Just something to note. Luka said he admits to having a conditioning issue. That's just something to note for the future. I think.
Probably sits out back-to-backs then, huh?
Well, I don't think it's more of him sending out back-to-backs. I just think that because if we think about it, like if we look at it relative to what Luka's been able to do, and we know he can be, even though he's having a good season thus far, like he is having a good season, he's not having like what we would expect of Luka. We would expect the MVP, like him to look like an MVP right now. That's what everybody expects every year. He's one of the odds-on favorite every year as soon as the season starts.
Yeah.
So I think that we can expect to see him, because he admitted he came a little overweight back to training camp. And that stuff takes time. Like, that stuff takes time. Yeah. It doesn't just happen in a training camp. So I think we can expect towards the end of the season, we start to see, you know, the Luka that we all more recognize even now. Like, he's playing like a good player now. He's playing like a top 15 player now. But we know Luka can be a top 10, top 5 player in the league whenever, any night he wants. I think that closer towards the end of the season, you know, maybe in the upcoming months, even weeks or so, like as he continues to get his legs under him, we start to see that Luka again.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I was watching this game last night between the Nets and the Dallas Mavericks. Luka, you know, looked good, obviously. But yeah, he did look a little, I guess we could say, winded at times, like you mentioned with the conditioning thing. Yeah, something that came out after the game yesterday in the presser, and you know, him saying that he's still getting up to game speed. Last thing before we move on to the games, Terrell, did you see the pictures of Zion? There's been unconfirmed reports kind of saying that he got up over 300 pounds. I don't think that necessarily is true, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was.
Yeah, I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. But I do think that he's not in basketball shape. Like, regardless, whether he's overweight, and, you know, I make jokes about Zion being fat all the time, but I make jokes about everybody. I make a Kyle Lowry fat joke every now and then. Like, every other day I make Kyle Lowry fat joke. But, like, ultimately, these guys are athletes, and they're more or less in really good shape. And so, do I think that Zion is actually fat as hell? No, I don't. I think he's just regularly fat. And I think that he just needs to get into basketball shape. Like, when he comes back, and that's where the jokes are going to come. He's not in basketball shape. The man hasn't played in a game in forever. He's just started practicing with the team again. Like, he's not in basketball shape. That's going to take time. Like, just like Luka's probably going to take some time, because he came to training camp 30 pounds overweight. Like, his listed weight was 230. He came to training camp at 260. You're not going to lose 260. You're not going to lose 30 pounds in a month. Yeah. Like, the season's only been going on for a month and a half. Yeah. So, if even that, like, maybe a month and a half. Like, month and a half. So you're not going to lose 30 pounds in 2 months at training camp. You're not going to lose in 2 months. Like, you're not. So Luka's getting his legs under him. They got on him on TNT during the broadcast about him. Zion is coming back, and he's going to get his legs up under him. These guys are going to look a lot different towards the end of the season. I can probably guarantee that. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when James Harden requested his trade from the Houston Rockets, and he took his fat suit off. He took his fat suit off and started balling. James Harden's the only one that can shade them pounds in overnight. As soon as he got that trade, he took that fat suit off real quick. Definitely something to keep an eye on. These guys are, you know, so they're still getting their legs back under them, you know, especially guys that are going to be coming back from injury or missing time, especially with, you know, guys that did catch COVID and were in health and safety protocols. You know, Joel Embiid has come out and said that, hey, he was still getting his wind back under him or getting up to game speed after missing that many games. So, you know, definitely keep an eye out for those type of things for sure. Terrell, let's take one quick break here. We will come back and we will get to the 13-game schedule on the NBA tonight. College football championship weekend is behind us, but bowl season is almost upon us. And there's no need to exhaust yourself searching all over the internet for tickets to see your favorite team play in their bowl game this winter. Because TickPick, that's TickPick, is the original no-fee ticket site and the only one you'll ever need as your go-to for all tickets for NCAA football, NFL, concerts, NBA, and more. TickPick got rid of all those awful service fees that the other ticket sites charge, which lets them guarantee the best prices on all of their college football tickets. Don't believe it? If you can find better prices for the same seats on another ticket site, TickPick will give you 110% of the difference in the purchase price. Visit TickPick today at TickPick,
tickpick.com/SGP. That's tickpick.com/SGP. Ready to win money and boost your odds? WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Michigan, New Jersey, Tennessee, and Virginia. We're bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting and casino play. Exclusive rewards right at your fingertips. Get in on all your favorite teams, players, and sports from NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, golf, MMA, WNBA, college football, and more. WynnBET has some brand new bonuses. New users can bet $1 and win $100 on any sport. Plus, you can get up to $1,500 as a free bet on WynnBET if you make a first deposit of $20 or more. Whatever your first wager is, WynnBET will match it up to 200%. If you bet $100, you'll get a $200 free bet. Great promos, odds, and payouts are happening right now at WynnBET. From boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, we have what you need to win. Ready to play? Sign up today to receive a special offer, risk-free $1,000 sports bet. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBET. Download the WynnBET app now or visit wynnbet.com. We're also brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is an easy way to play daily fantasy. It's daily fantasy simplified. You pick 2 to 5 players and an over and under on their projections, and you can win up to 10 times on any entry. Use promo code SGP and receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. It's just you versus the projected numbers. PrizePicks has a ton of stats to choose from, including yards, receptions, touchdowns, fantasy points, and more. PrizePicks allows mixed entries, so you can take the over on LeBron's points, combine it with the under on Patrick Mahomes' yardage in the same entry. PrizePicks offers every sport you can think of, like NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, MLB, soccer, MMA, and more. PrizePicks has an award-winning, easy-to-use mobile app, both on the App Store and Google Play Store. PrizePicks is 4.8 star rated in the App Store with rave reviews. PrizePicks can be made in Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's really that easy, guys. PrizePicks is safe and offers fast withdrawals. PrizePicks.com, promo code SGP. Check it out for yourself, guys. It's really fun to use. I use it on the daily for NBA and NFL. PrizePicks.com, promo code SGP for that 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by PropSwap, America's marketplace to buy and sell sports bets. If you're not using PropSwap, then you're missing out. PropSwap is America's #1 app to buy and sell sports bets. You can find the best odds in the country because you're buying directly from other bettors. Use the promo code SGP on your first deposit and PropSwap will double it up to $500. Double the cash means double the odds. If you love sports betting, you need to be using PropSwap. Sellers across the country list their sports bets for sale, and thousands of buyers use PropSwap every day to find the best odds on futures, props, and parlays. The average PropSwapper makes $500 a month just buying and selling sports bets on PropSwap. Get started today by going to PropSwap.com or download the PropSwap app. PropSwap is where America buys and sells sports bets. All right, coming off of the break, Terrell, let's dive into the schedule, man. We got 13 games. Plenty of action, so we're gonna have to step up tonight with our lock and dog. So let's start with the first game, probably a game that we were talking about in the NBA Slack channel last night and this morning. I saw the messages kind of come across is Chicago Bulls headed to Cleveland to take on our team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, where the Cavaliers are a 3-point home favorite, currently seeing a total of 211. Injury report here. We talked about DeMar DeRozan being out with health and safety protocols. Javonte Green is also in health and safety protocols. And Alex Caruso is also doubtful for tonight with a right hamstring strain. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, the usual guys are out for them, so no new injuries there. But Terrell, 3-point home favorites for the Cleveland Cavaliers here. Which way are we going?
I'm going. It's kind of odd that the Cavs are getting 3.
Yeah.
Against the #1 team in the East right now. I think that I think they're getting a little bit overvalued because of the injuries that the Bulls have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lean the Bulls in the 3 here.
Okay.
You know, just like a number of other teams, I love the Bulls as dogs. I love getting the Bulls as a dog. I would prefer Cleveland as a dog. That's just how I would prefer Cleveland as a dog. I prefer Cleveland as a dog getting around 6 points, to be honest. I've seen this team collapse in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I've seen this team collapse multiple times in the fourth quarter. And I do not think that I can trust them with a lead going into the fourth quarter. Cleveland, right now, 3-9 ATS in the fourth quarter. 3-9 ATS in the fourth quarter. We sit here and we talk about how good they start games and how good that first half is. And I'm still on the Cleveland first half here, even though they're going to be a favorite. I'm still on the Cleveland first half here. I think Chicago will make it like it'll be good, but I'm still on Cleveland to kind of get on them and, you know, filter the ball in between those bigs. Like that's going to be the key to the game for Cleveland. That is going to be the key. It's going to be Evan Mobley and it's going to be Jared Allen. I would hop all over Jared Allen points and rebounds props. I would hop on points prop. I would hop on rebounds props. I'd hop all over that. I think that is going to be the key of the game for them. I would hop on Darius Garland assists because I think Darius Garland is going to be facilitating majority of this offense for them.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to dominate inside. But what I don't trust is I don't trust them to hold that lead throughout all four quarters of the game. I think the second half is going to be more of Chicago Bulls territory. I think they're going to make slight adjustments. And while Cleveland is probably liable to still try to pound the ball inside, Chicago is going to adjust their pace that they were playing at, play at a quicker pace, get those bigs off the step, get back on defense, and really get in the face of those guards and make it really hard for them to move the ball around. So I like Chicago here. I think Chicago is really good. Opposed to what I said in the beginning of the season, I recanted that statement. I do think Chicago looks good. I think that it is pretty big that they're missing DeMar here, but I think that they're still good all around, that they're going to challenge Cleveland in this game, and they're going to make Cleveland play to their strength, which is inside. And then I think the Bulls are going to try to outmuscle everyone else on the court.
Yeah, we talk about the first half stats for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are the number one team as far as first half. But the interesting part for that is that I'm sorry, that was the first quarter I was looking at. But yeah, they're 9-3 against a number in the first half, 9-4 on the road. And then Chicago, we're looking at in the first half, the Bulls, where are they? They're 7-5-1 in away games so far this season. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Exactly what I was going to say is that Cleveland should have their way inside against this lack of front court for Chicago Bulls. Nikola Vucevic cannot guard bigs. I don't think he's going to be able to contain guys like Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Possible revenge game for maybe Lauri Markkanen. Maybe look at his points prop maybe tonight, Terrell.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that like the size is really going to be the thing that's going to make this and ultimately that's, if you're backing the Cavs, you're backing the Cavs because of their size. Yeah. You're backing the Cavs because of their size their size down low, the size of Lauri Markkanen, or who has the ability to shoot from the mid range and on the outside. Like you're backing them because of their size and what they are. Because this, like you have Derrick Jones Jr. Who is stepping into the lineup and kind of playing that that four position. He's 6'6". We've seen him and we've seen him do that in. Where was he at? Atlanta. When he had to step into that role. And so you're really bring, and then you got centers off the bench, but I don't think that they're like, what is his name? Tony Bradley. Yeah. Like Tony Bradley coming off the bench. So I don't think that they're going to be able to keep up with those guys down low, but I think that it's going to be on the backcourt. I would be on Zach. I'm probably going to SGP this game. Like I'm probably going to have a same game parlay in this game because I just think that it's going to be a battle of the Chicago backcourt versus the Cavaliers front court. Right. And it's going to be who can exploit the other matchup more. That's how the game's going to be decided. Who's going to exploit the other matchup more? I'm going to take Lonzo and Zach LaVine in this one. I would not be surprised. This is by far not a lot for me. I would not be surprised if the Cleveland Cavaliers ran away with this one just because of that size that they have and the good and how good they are. This could be a really big Evan Mobley game, to be honest. But I lean Chicago. I'm going to take the lane with the best team in the East, and I'm going to fade the Cavs with a lead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cavs here at home as a 3-point favorite. I think that everything that you just said is exactly what I was going to say is that this is going to be a battle between the backcourts of Chicago versus the front court of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I think that this could be a night where maybe the shots are not falling for the Chicago Bulls and that the front court of Jared Allen, Evan Mobley are able to get easy baskets around the rim. And I think that they'll be able to hang on for this game. I think that, like I said, Lauri Markkanen will probably have a big game going up against his former team. And again, we take a look at the ATS stats for both of these teams in their particular situations. As a road underdog so far this season, Chicago is 3-3. And the Cleveland Cavaliers as home favorite so far this season are 2-0-1 against the spread. Very, very small sample there, but I'm going to back Cleveland here. I just think that the size will be too much for the Bulls to handle. Thoughts on the total here, Terrell, at 211?
Real quick, if you go on the Cavs, I see Lauri Markkanen 15 points, Cleveland to win for plus 215. Ooh. I think I like that. That's a pretty solid play, and I'm on the Bulls because ultimately I don't think it's impossible the Cavs win. I just think that the Bulls can keep it within the possession.
Yeah, and the line is right there too, right? So I think this is probably going to come down right to the final minute, I think.
And honestly, like if you bought a half a point on the Bulls and just made sure it was inside that one possession, I wouldn't be mad. Like I wouldn't be mad. I ultimately do think it's a close game, though. I think. But back to the total. I would lean the under.
Okay.
I would lean the under. I think I haven't seen what this is though. If you could find out what these teams been doing in the last few games, but just for if you have a total, what they've done to the total in the last 5 games.
Cleveland has gone. I'm sorry, 3 straight overs at 208.5, 213.5, and 215, and then Chicago. 2 straight games to the under, but previous to that, 4 out of the previous 5 had gone over the total. So it's kind of mix and match there.
Mix and match, yeah. Okay. I know that Chicago is a pretty good. It really should actually lean over because Chicago's really good, but Chicago's good guarding that backcourt, and I just don't see the backcourt for the Cleveland Cavs doing too much in this game.
And they don't have AC in this game either, Terrell. Like Caruso's their best perimeter defender, and he's not playing in this game.
Yeah, so I guess I'm leaning to the over. 211 is pretty steep kind of steep for over for these two teams, but I guess I would lean to the over. I think that they're just gonna have to dominate the game. Like I think ultimately they're gonna dominate the game in the aspects that they can dominate the game. The Bulls do not think that their guards can contend with their guards, and the Cavs don't think that their bigs can contend with their bigs. So if everybody dominates the game, this sounds like it easily goes over.
Yeah. So as far as pace, over the last 5 games here, Chicago is tied at number 9 for the 9th highest pace, and then Cleveland drops all the way down to number 20. So I think that total is right where it kind of needs to be, but I would slightly lean towards the over also here. Just because number one, I think that points will be easy inside the paint for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then, who knows, Zach LaVine and those guys, they can knock down shots, but definitely love Cleveland here tonight.
Cleveland's getting 56% of the tickets and 80% of the money. So interesting to look at that.
Yeah. Let's go over to the next game here, Terrell. We have the Philadelphia 76ers and the Charlotte Hornets matching up again. They just played the other night. That game went to overtime where the Philadelphia 76ers won that game 127-124. They are back at it again tonight, and I am currently seeing a line of 6.5 for the Philadelphia 76ers on the road again, and a total of 216. Like I said, these two teams matched up the other night. Total went way over. They combined for 251 points, but eventually the Philadelphia 76ers won that game by 3 points. But where are you at with this game, Terrell?
Bro, what is Philly doing?
They didn't have Tyrese Maxey that game. I will say that.
Yeah, but still, come on, Shake Milton ain't no slide. And Shake Milton relatively had a pretty good game. These guys put up points. They did good. It's just they gave up anything and everything to the Charlotte Hornets. Kelly Oubre had 35.
Yeah.
Uh, and like that's amazing. Like, and PJ Washington did really good coming off the bench. James Bouknight made an appearance in the game, 22 minutes, 4 for 8 from the field, 11 points. Like, I mean, the Hornets are still balling. They had 7 guys in double figures last game. Yeah. 7. And they only played 8. Played 8. They had 7 guys in double figures. So, I mean,
I will say this,
even with Tyrese Maxey out, I feel like the 76ers should run with this. But how do you fade how Charlotte is playing the ball right now? Even when they don't have LaMelo, they don't have Terry Rozier, they don't have Ish Smith, they don't have Mason Plumlee still. Like, they're missing so many guys, and they're still playing hard ball.
Yeah, they're number 1 over the last 5 games. Charlotte number 1 in offensive efficiency rating, and they are number 30 dead last in defensive efficiency rating. So they're playing at a very, very high pace, and we kind of take a look at what they've kind of been doing as far as being underdogs. I mean, they've lost 4 out of the last 5 games, but they've covered 3 straight games as underdogs of 6.5 or more. And they're on a streak of, 6 straight overs for the Charlotte Hornets. So
because they give up 120 plus points every single game.
Yeah. And they're covering the spread too.
Yeah, so it's like they give up a whole bunch of points and still find ways to cover. They've given up over 120 points in the past 6 games.
Yeah. 6-1 as they are 6-1 as home underdogs so far this season. And then Philly now are 3-1 as road favorites. But I'm leaning towards Charlotte here again tonight. I don't care if they lose the game, but they're finding ways to cover the number. And that's just pretty much what it is for me right now. They're 4 guys, like you mentioned, with LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Jaden McDaniels, and Mason Plumlee are still out in health and safety protocols. So, and there are other guys, Kelly Oubre stepping up, Gordon Hayward, Miles Bridges. I think that if Tyrese Maxey's not able to go again tonight for the Sixers, I'm leaning towards Charlotte Hornets here.
I want to lean Hornets. I really do. It all sounds good, but golly, is Philly really going to let them score that many points again? Like, I'm not sitting here and saying that Joel Embiid is going to go out and have another 40-burger.
Yeah.
But are they just going to let these guys score all up and down over them again? Like, I still think that, with Seth Curry out there, who is probably one of the few that didn't have a solid game against the Charlotte Hornets. Seth went 3 for 11 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to think that he gets going a little bit more. Shake Milton, we know he's a baller. He can come in and contribute around 10 to 15 points any given night easily.
Yeah.
I know you're down on Tobias Harris, but I still think that he's, one of the better guy forwards in the league still, and I think he can still play extremely efficient. And we know Joel Embiid's an MVP candidate. Like, I'm just gonna take the chance that this Philadelphia defense defends Charlotte a little bit better and keeps them out the 120 points range, because Charlotte's going to give up 120 points. So am I really going to sit here and say that fade this Philly defense to give up 120 points again? No, I'm not. So I'm going to take Philly minus the 6. It all sounds good, but I'm going to lean on Philly's defense actually showing up in this game.
I can't argue that. I mean, yeah, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, and Seth Curry all played 40-plus minutes in that obviously, because it went to overtime, they played 40-plus minutes, but 43 of the 127 points came from Joel Embiid. Close to about 30% of the points were from him. 25%, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see that. Do we see another shootout, or are we going to see like you mentioned, the Sixers kind of bogged down on the defensive side of the basketball? But I'm leaning with the Hornets here. Thoughts on the total here at 216?
I mean, I don't know how you can bet a Charlotte under right now.
Yeah,
I just don't. I don't know. I mean, they could score 100 points and Philly could be in 120 range and it goes over. So, I mean, I'm just going to have to auto bet Charlotte overs right now.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that you cannot bet a Charlotte under right now because they're playing very highly on the offensive side, but defensively one of the worst teams. They are the worst team right now, like I mentioned, over the last 5 games with 127 defensive rating. So should be another fun game to watch here tonight, Terrell. Let's move on to the next game, bud.
Well, real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So I know people are they're gonna hear this and be like, "Oh, Terrell, what do you mean you're fading the Hornets that when they're playing the back-to-back games, they just played and you're supposed to take the other team in the back-to-back." Well, to be honest, the Hornets should have won that last game. Like that was their one win. They just nerfed that up in overtime and gave that game over to the 76ers. So I count that game as their one win. So I'm fine backing the 76ers here because I think Charlotte probably should have won that first game. And I think the adjustments from Doc is going to come in that second game, and it's going to be more of a lopsided victory for Philly.
Okay, I can't argue that. Let's get to the next game here. We have the New York Knicks headed to Indiana to take on the Pacers, where the Pacers are a 5-point home favorite, currently seeing a total of 209.5. Do need to mention that the Knicks did play last night against the San Antonio Spurs. They got that victory 121-109 in back-to-back situations. I'm sorry?
Knicks tape.
Knicks tape was that?
Yeah, Knicks. What? That's what we say. That's what we say in the Knicks. We be like Knicks tape. That's how we, that's the hashtag. That's how we get hyped for the team.
Oh, okay. You see, I'm learning these things from you. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like mixed. It's like mixtape. Like think about mixtape.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
New York Knicks on back-to-back situations, 2-1 against the spread, small sample, but the one number that kind of sticks out, they are perfect 3-0 to the under on back-to-back games. But Terrell, Knicks on the road here to Indiana. We talked about possibly fading this Indiana team after the rumors came out. Do you think that's going to come to fruition, or I don't know? I don't think it's a rallying cry because that might just – I think there's some friction going on in that locker room. I think that's what it is.
I don't know. I think they rally. I mean, the Pacers have the Knicks number over the years.
They do.
And they're laying 5. 5 is a lot.
I should have mentioned. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I just don't. I can't. RJ had 32 last night.
He was 7-8 from 3-point land. 3-point land.
Yeah, like RJ had 32 last night. I don't know if I can count on RJ to go score another 30 points. And I just don't like how the Knicks are playing right now. Like, I really don't. I faded the Knicks last night, and I probably shouldn't have. Well, no, I definitely shouldn't have. I had them, but I took them off because I was just like, how can I back the Knicks right now?
This is the third meeting between these two teams this season. November 3rd, Indiana Pacers won that game 111-98 at home, and then New York won the game on their home floor 92-84 in New York. So this is a third game. So they've split the first two. Each team has won their home game and covered the spread.
I may or may not regret this, but I don't know. I'm just going to fade the Knicks on the back-to-back. I'm going to fade the Knicks on the back-to-back. I don't think that they're really that much of the better team, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was genuinely shocked that the Pacers were talking about doing a rebuild because I don't think they have like a really bad team. They like Chris Duarte is young. When he starts getting more into it, he's going to be really big to them. If TJ Warren ever comes back, he's going to be a good addition. They just lost TJ McConnell, which does hurt.
Yeah.
TJ McConnell's out for the rest of the season with torn ligament in his wrist. But I mean, this team isn't bad. Like, that's why it was shocking. This team isn't bad. Just take the over on Karis LeVert's points tonight. Maybe even Duarte's, honestly. I gotta look and try to figure out who matches up what better with who, but the Knicks just giving up anything and everything to the shooting guard position. Anything and everything. Whoever shooting guard you are, just have all the points you want. Derek White had 35 last night. I think it was 35, something like that.
Let me check.
It was like he was in the 30s for sure, but giving up anything and everything to the shooting guard position. They cannot guard that position at all whatsoever. So yeah,
26.
I'm on the Pacers. It's a lot of points. 5 is a lot of points, but I'm just gonna take the Pacers. I'm gonna fade the Knicks right now.
Yeah, I think being on a back-to-back here for the Knicks. I mean, we talked about how These two teams have played twice already in this season, and the home team has won both respectively and covered the number. So I'll stay with the Pacers here as well. And you're right. I think that this is probably a Karis LeVert game. Looking at what New York has done against that shooting guard position, quickly trying to pull up the numbers here. They're allowing 22.9 points to that shooting guard position. Sorry, 22 and a half. And last night they gave up 26 to Derek White. So this should possibly be a Karis LeVert game, like you mentioned. Quickly seeing his points prop for tonight for Karis LeVert. Let's see here. 16 and a half. So I think that's a good over bet there, Terrell.
Yeah, I believe I like Karis LeVert, and I like Duarte on the edge hitting threes. I think that he can have a good night and find a cut from the 3-point line a few times.
Yeah. Thoughts on the total here to wrap it up? 209 and a half.
It's low. I think it's low. I don't know what they're doing recent, but I would think
for the Knicks, they have gone 5 out of the last 6 games have gone over the total, and for the Indiana Pacers, 6 out of the last 7 have gone over the total.
So why is this at 209? And then I see that it opened at 213, so it's dropping, and I don't know. Maybe that's a tell. Maybe I don't know. It's not. NBA is not like football. If I get reverse lineman in football, that's basically telling me to bet towards the reverse line movement and get a cash. But the NBA is kind of different. I still think over. I'm gonna lean over.
Yeah, I think that only part that kind of does scare me, but it's a very small sample that they're 3-0 to the under on back-to-back situations are the Knicks, but 209 and a half, it's kind of hard to kind of gauge it because the first game they played went over the total and the second game went well under the total, but I'll probably stay away from this total. If I had to lean, I'd agree with you. I'll probably take the over as well. Let's move over to the next game. We have the Washington Wizards headed to Detroit to take on the Pistons, where the Wizards are a 5-point road favorite, currently seeing a total of 209. Looking at the injury report, I know Spencer Dinwiddie missed last game, just a rest, but he should be back tonight for the Wizards. And then for the Detroit Pistons, Hamidou Diallo is questionable. Corey Joseph is probable. And the usual guys of Saban Lee and Kelly Olynyk continue to be out for the Pistons. But Wizards 5-point favorite here. Terrell, what are you thinking?
I mean, the Wizards are on a 3-game slide. Lost the first 2 games of this road trip. This is the last game before they go home. They should get up for this game and want to start hot going into the roast and going back home. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't. And they only have 1 home game after this, and then they're going back on the road. So, this Pistons team is scrappy. They're getting they're getting scrappier and scrappier as the year goes on, and as they're getting better. The Wizards are just struggling shooting the ball. If you just watch the games, they're just struggling to find ways to score the basketball. And I just can't back them right now. So I'm gonna ride Pistons plus the 5.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Again, I should have mentioned the Pistons are on a 9-game losing streak here, but you texted me the other day when we found out that Shea was going to play in that game, and the Thunder went in there and got a W, 114-103. Don't we think Washington can do the same thing here? I know they are a 5-point road favorite here, but I think this is a game where they kind of get right. This is a get right game for the Washington Wizards. Whether it's Bradley Beal going off and Spencer Dinwiddie going off and scoring the basketball, I just think this is a spot for the Washington Wizards to get right here. So I'm gonna lay the 5 points here with the Wizards on the road in a get right spot. Thoughts on the total here, Terrell? 209.
No, I don't really have a lane either way. I think that this could possibly both teams just go completely ice and not score anything. But I think it's also a pretty good possibility that because the Pistons have been scoring the basketball a lot better recently.
Yeah.
And I think that the Wizards they're a good scoring. Like they have people that can score the basketball. I think they could wake up at any time and just find ways to score. But I'm on the Pistons here. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of staying away from this total. I just think it's kind of flip floppy for me. It could go either way.
Yeah, 5 out of the last 6 games have gone over the total for the Wizards, and then for the Pistons, 3 out of the last 4 have gone over the total. But like we said, these numbers are starting to come down a little bit as the market kind of adjusts because we had so many unders cashing early on in the season. Let's move over to the 6:30 games. Terrell, we have the Milwaukee Bucks headed down to South Beach to take on Miami, where the Bucks are a 6.5-point road favorite, currently seeing a total of 216. Checking the injury report, like we had mentioned earlier, Jimmy Butler is out for this game. We know about Bam Adebayo, who's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. And then everybody should be playing for Milwaukee here. The usual suspects are out for Milwaukee, but Miami's struggling here a little bit, Terrell, without their best player in Jimmy Butler, and without Bam Adebayo anchoring that center position, kind of being that defensive force. They've lost now 4 out of the last 5 games here. Have the Miami Heat, and for the Milwaukee Bucks, they seem to have quietly turned it around here where nobody's really talking about them. They're only a 1.5 game out now for that first place lead in the Eastern Conference. They've now won, 4, about, I think 8 out of the last 9 games or 9 out of the last 10 games here have the the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah. Milwaukee's championship in their DNA. Like, it's championship DNA. They've getting their guys back healthy. And they're quietly starting to find ways to just put this team back together from what it was. Now Giannis is back in the fold. He missed a couple games out. Missed last time out being his birthday, so I didn't get to play the birthday. I might throw a little something on a Giannis triple double of the day. Maybe I get a delayed birthday explosion from him. But
he's ready to come down to South Beach to party.
But Bobby Portis he's stepped in. And he's playing great. 19 for 16 that last game with Giannis out. And he's averaging, I think this is the most points he's averaged in his career. Like, I think he's averaging over 15 points per game. He's got 15 points per game. I got to go see what he's a career. Because he did have those years where he was really the guy. But going back to what's that? He's averaging 10 points. So 10 points on the career. He's averaging 15 over the season, having an amazing season. Never blinks his eyes, so he watches the ball all the time because he doesn't blink ever. So with that being said, and with Milwaukee playing better and everything, I think I'm still on the Heat at home here.
Oh, you're crazy.
Because I just don't think – I don't think the Heat go away. I don't think their Heat are a squad that going away.
They just played the other night.
And got smacked. I know.
Yeah.
They got smacked. I know. But if you sit here and look at it, Tyler Hero went 4 for 17 from the field. That's not happening again. Like, I don't care if it's against the Bucks. That's not happening again. Tyler Hero's gonna go out there. He's gonna shoot the basketball a lot better at home, and with the home crowd behind him, he's gonna get himself up. Kyle Lowry went 4 for 12. I expect a conversation to be had between Eric Spoelstra and Kyle Lowry. Like, hey, while Jimmy Butler is out, you got to step up. And we've seen Kyle Lowry be able to become a 20-point scorer, when required, when necessary. So, I mean, I'm concerned. I think that there is a possibility that Giannis, in addition to this, can definitely make this even more of a blowout.
Yeah.
But I also think that there's an even better possibility for the Miami Heat that they decide to just lock down everybody outside of Giannis. And we've seen them do that before, where they just sat there and said, all right, Giannis is going to score, Giannis is going to get his, but 1, 2, 3, and 4 is going to have a rough night, and we're going to make it extremely tough on them, and Giannis is going to have to outscore us 100 points by himself, which we know he cannot do. So I'm going to lean Miami Heat here. I think they make it close. They may not win the game, but I think they make it close. I think that Tyler Hero has a better shooting night. Tyler Hero is a points prop that I'm going to look at for this game. I think he gets up for big games like this, and I'm sure these guys want to give it back to him on the road. Like this Miami Heat team and this Milwaukee Bucks team, they do not like each other. They give each other battles all the time. This is a little bit of a rivalry in the NBA, and we don't really talk about NBA rivalries too often. So I'm going to take the points. I think, win by 7 is possible, but I think the Heat get up for this game, and I think they make it a little bit closer and lean on Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero more to get some more of that scoring done.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way, man. I think this Bucks team right now, they're playing really good basketball. They have their guys healthy. Like I said, they've won 9 out of the last 10 games here. I think it's even more than that. But not having Giannis that other night, I think that revenge may be on the mind of the Miami Heat. But when you're missing your 2 best players or 2 out of 3 best players in Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, I think that there's a significant fall off after that. Yeah, Tyler Hero can come out and shoot the basketball well, but Milwaukee on the season are the 4th best defending team beyond that 3-point line, where they're only allowing other teams to shoot 33% from that 3-point line so far this season. And I just think that, Bucks are in good form here right now. I'll lay the points here. I got burned by Miami. I took Miami against Memphis on Monday. They lost that game by 15. I think Milwaukee will come in and probably take care of business against Miami here on the road. I expect, either Chris Middleton or Jrue Holiday to have a big game, because Giannis, as great as Giannis
but listen what you said. I expect Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday to have a big game. We always expect that. From the Bucks. And there's always games where there's always games. There's always games where Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday do not do anything. And we're like, Jesus Christ. And that's the thing that frustrates me most, is the up and down of Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday. And then, just not to brag or anything, but the point guard under points prop hit. But the point guard under points prop hit in this last game as well. Jrue Holiday points prop was set at 17.5, and he came in at 16.
All right, so let's see what it's at tonight. So we probably should continue that. Let me see if I can.
I'm absolutely continuing it tonight.
16.5 again.
See, look, they're bringing it down.
They adjusted it. Well, he scored 16 the other night but he shot 6 of 14 that night also. But no Giannis in that game, so it could probably go under again tonight.
Yeah, it really can. I mean, they're not going to rely. Yeah, they're not going to rely on him for as much scoring.
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be big for Bobby Portis and Giannis. Like, if I were them, I would funnel, because we know what the Heat are going to do on the outside. Like, they're going to get on the outside and they're going to get in your face and smother you. I think that once that happens, Jrue Holiday, Chris Middleton, to a point, like, they're going to force the ball inside and they're going to get it to Bobby Portis and Giannis and let those guys do their thing down low. So, I would be on those people, and I would personally fade Jrue Holiday and even Chris Middleton to an extent.
Bobby Portis rebounds are only 8.5 tonight, Terrell. I'm going to smash that here tonight. He's in
I think it's because Giannis is back in the lineup. That's what I think they're doing it, because Giannis is back in the lineup, but he can easily still get 10 rebounds with Giannis in the lineup. Yeah,
but even against Cleveland the other night when Giannis did play, he still grabbed 16 rebounds against the Cavs. And then I think the night before Giannis played also. And I think that he had, 13 against
Giannis. Did Giannis play in that Cleveland game?
Yeah, he did. It was his birthday on Monday.
Oh, that was the birthday game? Oh, yeah. I missed that.
Yeah, but
he scored 27 on his 27th. Jesus Christ. That's like, no, because I hate being over here because I missed stuff late. I didn't even realize that he played in that game. He scored 27 on 27. I told you the birthday props always hit. The birthday props. Well, I mean, his prop was probably over 27, but 27 on 27, like that is meaningful. That is meaningful. Birthdays are always meaningful. Find ways to bet birthdays.
We're gonna have to. I'm gonna add another segment before we start handicapping games. I Your assignment is to find the birthdays for the day, and when we get to that game, we're going to look at the points props for those games. So we're gonna do that starting Friday for sure. We've been doing it, but we haven't consistently been doing it. So we'll start that Friday for sure. Thoughts on the total, Terrell?
I could tell you who has birthdays for the rest of the month.
Yeah, we'll do it episode by episode. 216
on the total. I had a SGP that died with the under last time. And that was the only leg. I hit all other legs, and the under was the thing that forced it not to cash. Very concerning, especially because the Miami Heat turned it on late. I think that it's only appropriate that this game goes under and does a FU to me because I bet the under in the wrong game. So yeah, I'm going to say under because I just know that's what the world is going to do to me.
This is the third matchup between these two teams this season already. First game, Miami won 137-95, flew over the total, and then the other night on the fourth, 124-102 went over the total of 211. So just because the world might be against you, I'm going to take the over in this game at 216. Let's get to the next game, Terrell. We have the OKC Thunder headed to Toronto to take on the Raptors.
Wait, real quick. I'm sorry. We're just gonna throw this out there for the people, so they can have this early and they can be thinking about this early. But Dwight Howard has a birthday on the 8th coming up, so we might. Is today the 8th? Yeah, today's the 8th. So it's Dwight Howard's birthday, but they don't play. I don't think they play.
No Lakers tonight.
Yeah, so Dwight Howard tomorrow. Oh, damn, it's a couple people. Oh, well, no. Tomorrow, Kelly Oubre, I don't know if they have a game tomorrow. Kelly Oubre is out there. Eric Bledsoe is out there as somebody with a birthday on the 9th, I mean. So Eric Bledsoe, Kelly Oubre. I don't know if those guys have games. I haven't seen
Oubre tonight
for tomorrow.
Because I don't think Charlotte plays tomorrow.
Do we take the day before? But I don't know. The day before don't hit like the day of. Like when when people been telling you your birthday, they been telling you your birthday like that day, and you've been getting that love all day. You go into that game, I don't know that joint. I don't think it hit like the day. We don't see what Oubre been balling recently though.
Yeah,
so we don't see what they do.
I think you got to take it tonight because he's probably going to be partying tomorrow, and then you got to fade him on Friday against Sacramento because he's going to be a little hungover probably.
Oubra's had a couple of good games while he's
been doing really good.
So we're gonna take Oubre. All right, so we just gonna take Oubre points prop today. We're gonna call it the birthday bet. So then does that mean we're getting I'm throwing us all the way off, but I'm sorry, I gotta say. So that means we gotta look at Eric Bledsoe tonight too.
We'll look at that when we get to that Clippers game. They're playing Boston tonight, right?
Yeah, let me think about it. Well, I figure it out.
You think about it until we get to the next game. But Oubre's points prop tonight are at 21.5.
Oh hell yeah, let's go. He's gonna get us a 20 piece. And then you tell me I just gotta bet one. I know he's gonna get us a 20 piece. And you tell me I just gotta take a chance on him getting 2 more after that. No, yeah, let's go with Kelly Oubre points prop tonight. That's for the birthday. Birthday on the way. Kelly Oubre over 21.5.
All right, he's had 3 straight games of 25, 28, and 35, and that's because LaMelo Ball and those guys have been out. So hopefully he continues that tonight. Let's make a U-turn back to the games here, Terrell. So that's Kelly Oubre. All right, guys, get down on him on his points prop tonight because his birthday is tomorrow. We'll discuss that on Friday if it comes into fruition. But OKC Thunder headed north of the border to take on the Toronto Raptors, where the Raptors are a 7-point home favorite. Currently seeing a total of 207.5. Checking the injury report for these teams. Pretty clean for the OKC Thunder. Everybody should be playing. For the Toronto Raptors, Kim Birch and OG Anunoby are out for this game. I do want to mention the ATS numbers for the Toronto Raptors at home this season. 3-9 against the spread at home, and they are 3-5 as home favorites. And then for the OKC Thunder, coming off the win against Detroit the other night, 7-5 against the spread on the road and 7-5 as road underdogs. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, isn't he Canadian or his nationality is Canadian?
Yeah, I think he something like that because I'm pretty sure he played on a Canadian team.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's something. There's
some connection.
Yeah, because RJ Canadian too, so you wouldn't think RJ is somebody's Canadian, but he grew up in Canada too. So
okay.
Yeah, I would say that that's an interesting angle to take to it. I didn't think about that at first either. To the game. You said
Yeah,
7? That's what you
seven
had?
for the Raptors.
Oh yeah, I'm taking the Thunder. I'm taking the Thunder. I think the Thunder, as they put people back on the court, we got to remember that Thunder, are they still? They might not be it still. They might have fallen a little bit with those that slide that they had, but they were still one of the best teams in the league ATS, and one
Yeah.
of the best road teams in the league ATS. So I'm not going to fade that. I think that something is going on with the Toronto Raptors. One, they can't keep anybody on the court. They got people coming on and off the court. And OG Anunoby, we know he's out long term right now, but they got people coming on and off the court. I think that this Raptors team is starting to play better overall, and they're starting to win games. But I will take the OKC Thunder to at least make this a close one. So I like the Thunder +7. I think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander he's just a dog. Like, he's just a dog, and he's going to do it all for that team, and he's gonna help put them over the edge and keep them in games. And I think that, relatively, like Lou Dort, and I think Lou Dort on that. What team is he on? That Canadian team as well? I feel like Lou Dort plays for somebody else nationally.
Let me find out.
Yeah. So either way,
it says
I still
Canadian
like
basketball.
Yeah. So Lou, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was born in Montreal.
These guys gotta go out. They gotta go out. They gotta go out here and try to make a money line win. Like, they gotta go push for a money line win tonight. Like, I know SGA and Dort are sitting there talking about it, and those guys are cool. They know how they play with each other for a while. They play with each other for a while now. They know each other's tendencies. Like, those are arguably two of the best players on the court. Josh Giddey makes a really good run at that. Because I like what he's doing, especially coming in as a rookie and being able to fly all over the court, get rebounds, rack up assists, and also score the basketball for his team that is divided scoring for a lot of reasons. So I'm on the Thunder. I think that the Thunder are there's a little bit of a momentum shift in that team as they're getting players back, and I think they're going to contest and start to be in a lot of these games again.
Yeah. Lou Dort, born in Montreal, Canada, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, born in Toronto, Canada. So I think that's the angle. We find so many different angles on this podcast, and that's the fun nature of it, right? That we'll throw out the ATS stats and what they've been doing recently, but sometimes we got to throw in some gut handicapping too, right? And I think both of these guys being Canadian, both are playing tonight, so I think they're going to get up and play in Toronto, man. You got to look at Shai props tonight.
Yeah, I just think that they're even if this game goes outside of what I think it does, and the Toronto Raptors run away with this game, I don't think the Thunder are going lying down. I think the Thunder are going to score points. I think the Thunder are going to try to make this a game. I think that even if they lose this in the fourth quarter and they miss the cover, they're going to be in it majority of the game. I don't think that this Thunder team is as bad as everybody's trying to make them out to be.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I don't think they should be 7-point favorites. I don't think that they should be, you should be getting, if you're getting +200 money line on the Thunder, like, they're liable to hit that any given night, because they're liable to turn it all the way on any given night. So, sprinkle on it. I wouldn't hurt it. +240 looks really good. I wouldn't mind a sprinkle on it, but I think that they do come in and they cover this game. They make it close against Toronto Raptors.
Thoughts on the total? 207.5. I agree with you. I'm on the Thunder all here also.
207.5. Is this falling? I think I saw it at 208 earlier.
I think so. I think that Toronto is one of the better teams towards the under, but I may be wrong on that. I think they've regressed here a little bit back towards overs. I just get hesitant betting under any, like, there's very few teams that I don't care what the number is that I'm perfectly fine betting the under. But for the most part, I'm getting hesitant to start betting under these 200. These 207s, 208s, because I think that is the books trying to overcompensate for how the unders have been going. And like this can go over that. Like, I think the sweet spot for a lot of these games is around that 215 range. And so
I'll take the chance, and I'll take a. I may take. Oh no, maybe not in this game. Maybe not in this game, but that's just how I think of.
Yeah.
For a majority of these games, like I'm not fine. I'm okay taking a chance on the over when it gets to this low, because I think that ultimately, as the season goes on, it's gonna regulate. Like this, they're gonna regulate. These totals are gonna come back up, and they're still gonna go over. Like there's gonna be more points scored as the year goes on.
Yeah, I think so. I believe so also. I think that, again, keep an eye out on these totals because we're seeing a lot of 207s and a half, 209s and a half in that range. So I think, like you said, the books are compensating for what happened earlier this season where unders were just cashing at a very, very high rate of a 60+%. Terrell, let's take one more break here. We'll come back and we'll get into the 7 o'clock games here for this NBA schedule. Better Fantasy is a new free-to-play app that lets you sync your fantasy football league and bet on matchups. You can cash out for gift cards when your bet hits, and even help raise money for charity along the way. It's a brand new company looking to grow the early adopter community. It's a slick app and it's really fun to use. One of the reasons we love it is that they also offer prop betting. So if you're in a state that hasn't legalized gambling yet, you can get in on some prop bets on Better Fantasy. Plus, they have added a really, really cool bonus, guys. If you can get your entire league to join Better Fantasy, they'll give the league a $150 gift card to get a sick-ass trophy from TrophySmack.com. The app is totally free to play. Download the app today for iPhone and Android. Check them out today at betterfantasy.com/SGPN. That's BETTOR fantasy.com/SGPN. Since when did sports betting become so rigid? Sports betting is meant to be social. When I picture betting, I picture bootleggers with mustaches tossing bets around in a speakeasy. SoBet is taking the social lineage of betting and putting a modern twist on it by providing a modern platform. SoBet is changing the game with their new product. Head over to SoBet.io and create an account to see for yourself. Through their fully functioning and free web application, you can access a demo of their app which will launch next fall. The app includes consensus lines from Vegas, a feed of what other people are betting on, and the ability to send friendly wagers to anyone you know via text, QR codes, and links, among other methods. No money is transacted on the app. It is purely competitive. Next time you're with your friends watching sports, turn the dial up a notch. Go to SoBet.io and see who can hit the most ridiculous bets. Users have the ability to place bets off Vegas odds or generate a bet by changing any metric they want, as long as somebody is on the other side to accept. Let's get back to the roots of betting with SoBet. Go to SoBet.io/SGPN. That's SoBet.io/SGPN today to join the revolution. And guys, make sure to check out PrizePicks.com. It is really, really fun website, and it's really great for betting on your favorite players, their stat projections to go over or under. Make sure to go to PrizePicks.com, get signed up today, and make sure to get that 100% deposit bonus by only using the promo code SGP. You're not going to get that 100% deposit bonus without using that promo code SGP. I highly recommend it to all my friends and listeners who have contacted me about this. Go to PrizePicks.com and use that promo code SGP. And finally, the SGPN app is now live in the App Store and Google Play Store. The app gives you easy access to all of our picks and podcasts. Don't forget to toss up an app review and download the SGPN app today. All right, coming off of the break, we are almost halfway through and we're an hour in, so let's keep chugging along here. We have the Brooklyn Nets headed down to the H to take on the Houston Rockets, where the Brooklyn Nets are a 6-point road favorite here, currently seeing a total of 225.5. James Harden comes back to Houston, but he has already been here before. So this, I think, is the second game back to Houston. But Houston, 6-game winning streak here. Brooklyn Nets played last night in Dallas, where they got the victory there, I believe, by 3 points. Currently seeing a total of 226.5, one of the higher totals on the board tonight. But Terrell, where are you going with this game, man? Oh, sorry. Let me mention the injury report for the Rockets because it is significant. KPJ, Kevin Porter Jr. is out. Jalen Green continues to be out, and Daniel House Jr. is out for the Houston Rockets. And before you bet this game, and if you do plan on betting this game, I would wait till you see if Kevin Durant is going to play in this game. I think James Harden will go, but I think they may hold out Kevin Durant just being on a back-to-back situation. But for right now, 6-point favorites for Brooklyn here, Terrell.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this line is going to – I don't think I think this line is indicative of Kevin Durant playing.
Yeah.
And just overcompensating how good the Rockets have been over the stretch. However, if Kevin Durant doesn't play, you're not going to it's only going to drop the line, and I think that's going to be better for your Nets bet. I'm on the Nets here.
Okay.
I think that it's just a level of class. Like it's just two different classes here. Like these are two different classes. I don't care how hot the Rockets have been recently. I think the Nets are by far the better team. I think, especially with Kevin Durant on the floor. But even without Kevin Durant on the floor, James Harden has proven time and time again that he's able to go out and take this Brooklyn Nets team to win games without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant on the floor, and kind of revert back to that Houston style of basketball he was playing, where he had to carry the team and get everybody their open shots and kind of bring everybody else up with them. He's, one of the 75 best NBA players ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And I know people don't want to say that because it seems like a lot of time he goes and he chases the foul, but James Harden will show you that when he's not chasing the foul, he can still score the basketball a number of different ways. So I'm on Brooklyn Nets here. I'm going to fade the Rockets and this hot streak that they are on. I think that the Nets kind of humbled them today and show them like, hey, yeah, we're still on a different level.
Yeah, I think this is where the losing streak is going to start again for the Houston Rockets. I mean, like you said, as great as they've been on this winning streak here, they haven't played the greatest competition. I mean, they beat Thunder twice, they beat Orlando, and they beat the Pelicans. I mean, some of the worst teams in the NBA, so the Rockets got the victories there. But now the schedule gets tough for the Rockets starting tonight with Brooklyn. I'll make this quick. I'm with you on Brooklyn. If I'm going to take James Harden points, rebounds, and assist props at 40.5 tonight. I think that if Kevin Durant is going to be out, that's only going to go up. So if you're going to grab any props on Harden tonight, I think tonight that you might want to do it sooner rather than later before any news of Kevin Durant being out comes out. But for right now, no injury report submitted yet for the Brooklyn Nets because they are on a back-to-back. Thoughts on the total here, Terrell, before we move on to the next game?
No, not really.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We have the Utah Jazz headed to Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves, where the Jazz are a 7-point road favorite. Sorry. Currently seeing a total of 220.5. Checking their injury report here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns is questionable. Patrick Beverley is questionable. D'Lo is also questionable. And then for the Utah Jazz, most of their guys are playing tonight. Terrell, I'll start with this. I'm going to wait until I see either if D'Lo is playing in this game and Cat is playing in this game, because I believe Cat was out last game and D'Lo played, or it might be the other way, but
other way around.
Yeah. Okay. But until I find out who's playing for this Minnesota team, I can't get behind it. If D'Lo does play tonight, I am looking at his points props or his player props, because Utah Jazz are one of the worst teams defending the point guard position. So I'll start by saying that. Thoughts on this game, Terrell?
Yeah. I mean, I waited until I got, I figured out who was playing. As soon as I heard D'Lo was not playing, I backed off the Timberwolves and I played the Hawks last time and cashed. The Hawks would have been, if I knew for a fact D'Lo wasn't playing, the Hawks would have been my dog of the day. When they played Minnesota, I bet that game individually myself and cashed on it very confidently. Let's just look at it. Let's just look at it. So Malik Beasley, and people kind of forget, but Malik Beasley can ball. He's on the bench right now, just kind of sparking the second unit. But Malik Beasley could ball. He was carrying that team back when it was just him and D'Lo. They were carrying that team and getting them a lot of wins when Cat was out, and back when back a year, 2 years ago when Cat was out missing a lot of games. Yeah, it was him and D'Lo carrying that squad. So I still like those three for sure. But if we look at this, Prince 2 for 5 points. you have one other person, Naz Reid, who was in double figures with 10 points, but everybody else did not hit double figures at all. McDaniels 2 for 9 from the field. Like it really, for me, in addition to Malik Beasley, like I need D'Lo out there to feel comfortable with the Timberwolves. I need them at full strength. I do not want to take the Timberwolves when they're lacking. I don't feel comfortable, like that confident in this team when they're lacking. So I'm waiting on this right now. If it stays as it is and I'm not getting D'Lo or I'm not getting Cat, and I think Cat is just questionable out of precaution because he's hurt.
Yeah.
Which and I think that's ultimately what it is. But if I'm not getting D'Lo in this game to help it and to help boost that scoring workload,
yeah,
then I'm good and I'm gonna take the Jazz. So I'm on Jazz right now. I'm gonna sit here for the show. I'm gonna say I'm on the Jazz, but know that I'm waiting to see this injury report. And if D'Lo is playing in this game, then I will pivot over to the Timberwolves because I think the Timberwolves can keep it close when they're at full strength.
Yeah, I agree. Especially
if Pat Bev plays too. If Pat Bev plays too, I'm definitely really over it. So he's going to add to that defensive intensity for real. So I'm all over the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves might be a money line play for me if I hear that Pat Bev and D'Lo are playing.
Yeah, so definitely wait for this injury report. Like I said, that Utah Jazz are one of the worst teams defending that point guard position, and having D'Lo in there is going to make a huge difference against the Utah Jazz tonight in their home building. So we're going to wait for this injury report, but if things hold serve, we're probably going to be on Utah without D'Lo tonight. So just keep that in mind. Thoughts on the total here, Terrell, quickly, 220.5?
Still, it's gonna have to wait for me. It's gonna have to wait, and I'm gonna have to see who's playing who, because I think that especially if they pull Cat, like if they just don't play Cat for some reason, maybe because it's a couple, this is relatively close in a row for him, coming off that tailbone. So if they pull Cat and they don't have D'Lo out there, Pat Bev's not out there, then I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And whereas the Jazz can put up a bunch of points, I don't know if the Timberwolves will be able to match that scoring without D'Lo and without Cat out there, and just limiting it up to guys like Malik Beasley and Anthony Edwards. So I'm waiting. I'm not really, and y'all know I'm not even a total guy anyway for real. But I'm waiting and looking at that total, and I just need to see who's playing for the Timberwolves. I can't bet Timberwolves games early. I have to see who's coming off that injury report.
Let's move over to the next game. We have the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Memphis Grizzlies, where the Memphis Grizzlies are a 4-point home favorite, currently seeing a total of 216. Dallas did play last night against the Brooklyn Nets. So maybe KP may be out for this game on a back-to-back, maybe even Luka, who knows? I think last time they were on a back-to-back, I want to say Luka did sit out, but don't quote me on that. So definitely wait for the injury report there. Dallas Mavericks on back-to-back situations this season are 0-3 against the spread. And again, Memphis has been playing well without Ja Morant in that lineup. Looking at the injury report for the Memphis Grizzlies, I know Brandon Clark is out for the Memphis Grizzlies. Kyle Anderson is doubtful, and Zaire Williams continues to be out. But guys like Desmond Bane and Dylan Brooks have been stepping up in the absence of those guys. But Terrell, where are you at with this game? 4-point favorite for the Memphis Grizzlies.
This is tough because, I mean, I don't know at what point am I going to think that the Grizzlies are overachieving or if this is just who they are. I mean, I don't know at what point I'm going to think that, because they've been on a tear since Ja went down and really holding it down for him. And they beat this Mavericks team 97-90 the other night, but that was without Luka. And so I have a hard time thinking that, even coming off of the back-to-back, if Luka is playing, I have a hard time thinking. And KP didn't play in that game either. I thought he didn't play. I just had to make sure, but I thought he didn't play. So I have a hard time thinking that full strength, this Grizzlies team is going to beat the Mavericks by that number. 3.5 over a possession. That means a lot. I have a hard time thinking that they're going to beat them by that number. I will wait because the Mavs have like that's what happened last time, and that's how I got because I put a bet in on the Mavericks because I was fairly certain at the fading the Grizzlies after that 73-point win, and they scratched Luka late, and that killed me and my bets. So I will wait again here. I'm tentatively on I'm on the Mavericks plus the points, even coming off the back-to-back. But I will wait and see what the Mavericks do with that roster and what roster decisions they make because I know they have a couple guys that they're concerned about.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for this game also, but I am leaning with the Memphis Grizzlies here. I think this is who you mentioned that, if they're overachieving or this is who they are. I think this is who they are, especially when they know that Ja Morant's not in the lineup. These guys step up. Like you can see the intensity that if you're watching the Memphis Grizzlies without Ja Morant on the court and knowing he's injured, they step up. The energy is completely different. They kind of have that chip on their shoulder when they know that Ja Morant's not out there. But not having Kyle Anderson, Brandon Clark, that gives me pause also. So I'm going to wait, like you mentioned, until we find out for Dallas if their two guys, KP and Luka, are going to play tonight or not. But I'm leaning with Memphis right now at home as a 4-point favorite. Let's move over to the next game, Terrell. We have the Denver Nuggets headed down to the Big Easy to take on the Pelicans, where the Nuggets are a 2.5-point road favorite, currently seeing a total of 213.5. Mentioning the injury report here for the New Orleans Pelicans, only the guy that's questionable of significance is Josh Hart. For the Denver Nuggets, we know about the injuries to Rivers, Porter Jr., and Jamal Murray. Nikola Jokic is probable. I don't think that he'll miss this game. But, Terrell, where are you at with this game, man?
What's he probable with?
It says forearm/wrist.
So that wrist is still giving him problems. He's had a day off, though. I think he plays this game. Maybe he sits. They're coming up on a back-to-back. They got the Pelicans, then the Spurs, and then they get the Spurs again in 2 days. Maybe he sits next game against the Spurs.
Yeah.
Possibly. But, I mean, I don't anticipate Jokic missing this game, so I'm all over the Pelicans here. Not Pelicans, over the Nuggets here.
Okay.
All over the Pelicans. Not Pelicans. No, I can't talk. The Nuggets. I'm all over the Nuggets in this spot because I just don't think that the Pelicans, I can't talk at all. I don't think that the Pelicans have an answer for Jokic. I really don't. I don't think they have an answer for Jokic. And this Nuggets team does find ways to step up. Like they do, like they have players that find ways to step up into and help that scoring workload. Will Barton has been big for them. He's been giving them huge minutes scoring the basketball. And that's not what we, in years previous and to like think of him synonymous to. Aaron Gordon, very, very good, stepping up, being able to create